Hello, hello friends. Today's topic is rabies. We are going to talk about this zoonotic disease. So, without wasting any time, let's start with today's topic. Yes. So, all you know that rabies is a zoonotic disease which is spread by the dog bite, right? Yes. Let me adjust. Okay. So, what are zoonosis? The diseases and infections which are naturally transmitted between vertebrate animals and man are called as zoonotic diseases. And rabies is a zoonotic disease. Okay. So, the vertebrate animals, other vertebrate animals which get affected by various diseases, and those are transmitted to the humans by either direct contact with the animals or through the other insect vectors are known as zoonosis. Other types of zoonosis are plague or anthrax. Okay. Yes. So rabies is as ancient as human beings. It's primarily a communicable zoonotic disease of warm-blooded animals, particularly carnivores such as dogs, cats, jackals, bulls, or other wildlife animals, even bats in some parts of the Americas. It is also known as hydrophobia because there is a large phobia to water. Okay, hydrophobia is phobia to water. It is an acute, highly fatal viral disease which affects the central nervous system. It is the only communicable disease of man that always fatal. So mortality is almost 100%. The first description of the disease dates from the 23rd century BC. The first record of the true nature of rabies was written in 1584 by an Italian named Girolamo Francostoro. Virus was isolated in 1885 by Dr. Louis Pasteur. He then developed the first rabies vaccine. Okay, so remember, Pasteur has developed many vaccines, and one of them is rabies vaccine. So this is a problem statement of world, and blue lined countries or areas are where the rabies is present. Only few countries are there where there is no rabies. We'll come to that. Rabies is a global problem. Human deaths are about 80,000 per year worldwide, or even more than that, which goes unreported. Water appears to be the most effective natural barrier to the rabies. Okay, so Australia is one of the biggest countries which has got water on all the sides. It is an island, and there is no rabies in that Australia country. The rabies-free area is defined as the area in which no case or a case of indigenously acquired rabies has occurred in man or any animal species for last 2 years. So the examples of rabies-free areas are Australia, New Zealand, Norway, China, Japan, and UK. Okay, so these are termed as rabies-free area. Best example is Australia. Approximately 35,000 to 40,000 human deaths occur due to rabies each year in the countries of Southeast Asian region. Okay, the only country in Southeast Asian region which doesn't have rabies is Maldives. Two countries, Bangladesh and India, they belong to the highest incidence of rabies cases in the Southeast Asian countries region. India occurs in all parts of the countries. Rabies is seen in all parts of countries except Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Again, these are surrounded by water, and which is the biggest barrier for transmission of rabies. Every year, approximately 15 to 25 lakh people receive post-exposure treatment. Okay, more than 95% cases are due to the dog bites. Dog population in India is around 25 million, so that is 2.5 crores, and most of them are not protected against rabies because they are stray dogs. They don't receive any formal vaccination. The agent is Lassa virus type 1, which belongs to the family Rhabdoviridae serotype 1. Okay, so this virus is a bullet-shaped virus. Okay, you will be taught in detail in your microbiology or virology lecture. Serotype 2, 3, 4 are rabies related but antigenically distinct viruses. They cause rabies-like disease in man and animals. Okay, so the Lassa virus type 1 is the most important virus type. It causes rabies in animals and humans. Street virus undergoes serial brain-to-brain passage in rabbits and modifies to fixed virus. Fixed virus does not form Negri bodies, not multiplies in extraneural tissues, and used in the preparation of anti-rabies vaccine. Okay, so the street virus after undergoing serial brain-to-brain passage in rabbits, is modified into the fixed virus, which can be used for vaccination. But usually now we are using human diploid cell cultures vaccine. Reservoir of infection exist in three epidemiological forms: urban rabies, wildlife rabies, or sylvatic rabies, and bat rabies. Okay, yes. So these are the regions of the world where specific animals which carry the rabies virus and transmit the rabies virus are mentioned in pictorial form. Okay, so you can see dogs, uh, coyotes, raccoon dogs, bats, wolves, foxes, right? Yes, mongoose, cats. Reservoirs vary with places or areas. Urban rabies, the transfer of infection from wildlife to domestic dogs, results in the urban cycle. This is maintained by the dog. Responsible for 99% of human cases in India, which are mostly due to the dog bite. Wildlife rabies, sylvatic form of rabies, present an intractable problem. Unidentified reservoir of infection. Wildlife cycle is perpetuated by the jackal, fox, hyena, and other carnivorous animals. In South Africa, the disease is enzootic in the mongoose. These animals maintain a cycle amongst themselves and transmit the infection to dogs and domestic animals. Many may occasionally contract the rabies by intrusion into the wildlife cycle of rabies. Bat rabies is also present. The vampire bat is the most important host and vector of rabies. In Latin American countries, those are Brazil, Venezuela, Mexico, and parts of the United States of America, the bat rabies is. These bats feed exclusively on the blood of animals and man, and they can transmit rabies to animals and humans. Humans also affected when they sleep outdoors. Vampire bats have not been reported in India, so in India we don't have any case which is due to the bat bite. Okay. The epidemiological importance of bats is they provide a constant source of infection for wild animals and men, thus enabling the virus to persist in the nature. After the dog, one of the most important vectors of rabies are the bats. Virus in the Americas is the vampire bat virus, and bat species found from Mexico to the northern Argentina. And bovine losses from vampire transmitted rabies is 5 lakh per year. Okay, so bovine losses are cattle which are lost due to the vampire bat transmitted rabies. Source of infection in the man is saliva of the rabid animal. In dogs and cats, the virus may present in the saliva for 3 to 4 days before the onset of symptoms and during the course of illness till their death. Carrier state in the humans it is not found, but in the animals it is unknown. Uh, all age groups of both sexes are at risk, but victims in India mostly belong to the age group of 1 to 25 years. All warm-blooded animals, including man, are susceptible to rabies. Rabies in man is a dead-end infection and has no survival value for the virus. Okay, so the man-to-man transmission is very rare because once the person gets infected with rabies, he dies of rabies. Okay, the death is inevitable. People at risk are laboratory staff working with rabies virus, veterinarians, dog handlers, hunters, and field naturalists or forest officers. Mode of transmission is by 4 ways. First is the animal bite. In India, rabid dog bite is important for most of the human rabies cases. Occasionally, transmission occurs from other animals, example cat, monkey, horse, sheep, and goat. Licks on abraded skin and mucosa, either abraded or unabraded, can transmit the disease. Rarely, disease can occur by accidental injury with bone, splinter, or other object contaminated by the saliva of rabid animal. Aerosol, in nature, it has been observed between vampire bats, which are in caves. In the laboratory, where aerosol created during homogenization of infected animal brains can infect lab workers. So the lab workers they have to use all the personal protective kits for the experiments and for the working for vaccination and for handling the virus. Person to person transmission is rare, but it is possible. Deceased child biting the parent is on record. Can also occur by corneal and organ transplantation. Incubation period is highly variable in man, commonly 3 to 8 weeks following exposure, but may vary from 4 days to many years. Okay, The incubation period, it depends on what is the viral load at the time of contact of or bite of the rabid animal to the human. It depends on which part of body the animal has bitten or which part of the body has been exposed to the virus. Okay. Also depends on site of the bite, severity of the bite, number of wounds, amount of virus injected, species of the biting animal, protection provided by the clothing, and treatment undertaken. Human infection is caused by the bite of rabid dog. Virus present in the saliva of the rabid dog deposited in the wound at the time of the bite. Virus multiplies in the muscles, connective tissues, and nerves at the site of deposition within 2 to 3 days. After multiplication, the virus travels through the exoplasm and reaches the spinal cord and brain. The clinical picture in man, the disease in human being is called as hydrophobia. Particular feature can only seen in human beings. Clinical features of rabies can be divided to 4 stages: prodromal stage, acute encephalitic stage, coma, and death. The prodromal state, the onset of disease marked by prodromal symptoms, fever, headache, malaise. Acute encephalitis stage begins with hyperactivity with intermittent seizures. Hydrophobia is observed in this stage. Patient exhibits fear of water and painful spasm, choking, gagging occurs if patient drinks water forcefully or even sees water or even sees the saline bottle. That much is the hydrophobia. After encephalitic phase, patient goes into the coma and death. Some patients exposed to real or imaginary risk of rabies develop a psychological disorder, which is called as lassophobia or hydrophobiophobia. In dog initially presents with prodromal symptoms, troubled air, restlessness. After developing the prodromal symptoms, the infected dog may develop curious or dumb type of rabies. Curious type of rabies, most common type, dog shows the signs of drooling of saliva, bites indiscriminately without provocation. Dumb type of rabies, it is paralytic type of rabies. Dog dies due to paralysis. Dumb type of rabies is as dangerous as curious type. Human beings lab diagnosis method most commonly used for diagnosis is demonstration of rabies virus antigen by immunofluorescence. Specimens tested are corneal smears, skin biopsy, saliva, antemortem, or brain postmortem. Use of monoclonal antibody instead of crude antisera makes the test more specific. High titer antibodies are present in CSF in rabies, but not after immunization. Detection of rabies virus RNA by reverse transcription or PCR is a sensitive method. More rapid and sensitive method is isolation of virus in tissue culture cell line. Positive immunofluorescence test can be obtained as early as 2 to 4 days after bite, and diagnosis made in postmortem by demonstration of Negri bodies in the CNS tissue. Negri bodies are seen as intracytoplasmic round or over purplish pink structures with characteristics basophilic granules. They vary in size from 3 to 27 micrometers, and isolation of rabies virus can be done. Growth of the virus in the brain of mice after intracerebral inoculation confirms the diagnosis of rabies. Yes, so this is a neuron without Negri body and neuron with Negri body. You will be taught in detail in your virology lectures about Negri body. So now coming to the treatment of rabies, the most part of treatment is the prevention, and that is vaccination and wound care. Okay, rest of the treatment is just symptomatic. Once the person develops full blown rabies, then we cannot save him. The death is 100% sure. So there is no specific treatment. Case management, isolation from the external stimuli like noise, cold, bright light, alleviate anxiety and pain by sedatives and analgesics. Spastic muscular contraction drugs with curare like action can be used. Hydration and diuresis should be ensured, and hydration, the saline bottles should be covered with cloth or paper so that the person doesn't see the water in the saline bottle. Intensive therapy in the form of respiratory and cardiac support should be given. Protection from cases, as cases are potentially infectious and virus may present in saliva, vomitus, tears, urine, and other body fluids. All the body fluids should be discarded as per the guidelines. Nursing personnel should wear face masks, gloves, goggles, aprons to protect themselves from getting infected from the patient. Pre-exposure prophylaxis with 2 to 3 doses of human diploid cell vaccine should be given to those who are at high risk. Vaccines. Rabies vaccine is a fluid or dried preparation of rabies fixed virus grown in neural tissues of rabbits, sheep, goats, mice, rats, or in cell culture. Okay. The neural tissue vaccines which were previously used, they had many complications, many side effects. So now we are using human diploid cell vaccine or HDC vaccine or second generation tissue culture vaccine. There is three types of vaccination prophylaxis. First is post-exposure prophylaxis. Second is pre-exposure prophylaxis. Third is post-exposure treatment of persons who have been vaccinated previously. Post-exposure prophylaxis, single dose of anti-rabies serum with a course of vaccination together with local treatment of wound is given. Local treatment of wound, cleaning, flushing the wound with water under a running tap for 5 minutes should be done. Chemical treatment, virucidal agents, either alcohol, tincture or 0.01% aqueous solution of iodine should be used. Suturing should not be done if at all it is required. If the wound is very large, should be preferred after 1 to 2 days. Anti-rabies serum, local application of anti-rabies serum, depending on weight of the person and depending on whether it is human anti-rabies serum or horse anti-rabies serum should be used. Human anti-rabies serum should be given 20 international units per kg, and horse should be given 40 international units per kg. Antibiotics and anti-tetanus measures should be given. Tetanus vaccination should also be given along with the anti-rabies vaccination. Observe the animal for 10 days. If the animal dies, then surely it was a rabid animal, and we should ask the history whether it was a provocative bite, whether the animal, what the animal was doing before biting the person. Indications for anti-rabies treatment: if animal shows signs of rabies or dies within 10 days of observation, if the biting animal cannot be traced, unprovoked bites, laboratory test positives, all bites by wild animals should be treated as rabies or suspected rabies. Nervous tissue vaccines, class 1. So what are the classes of bites? Okay, so class 1 is a slight risk, licks on healthy unbroken skin, consumption of unboiled milk of suspected animal, and scratches without oozing of blood are all class 1. Class 2 are at moderate risk, licks on the fresh cuts, scratches with oozing of blood, bites except those on head, neck, face, palms, and minor wounds less than 5 in number. And class 3 are the major laceration big wounds. Okay, so class 3 wounds should be given both anti-rabies immunoglobulin along with the rabies vaccination, while class 1 and class 2 should be given anti-rabies vaccination. So the dates which are represented here 0, 3, 7, 14, 28 are the dates for intramuscular vaccination schedule of 5 doses of post-exposure prophylaxis. Technique of administration, ideal site for vaccination is anterior abdominal wall, which was previously used. Now we are using deltoid. Duration of immunity approximately 7 days to appear. Maximum level lasts for 6 months. Maximum levels are attained at 30 days, last for 6 months. Anti-rabies serum, combined vaccine, horse anti-rabies serum is 40 international units per kg to a max of 3000 international units, and human anti-rabies 20 international units per kg. Both should be given intramuscularly. So if the dose is greater than the size of the wound, half the dose should be infused near the wound and rest half should be given intramuscular. Or if the dose is less than the wound, then it should be diluted and should be infused all over the wound, near and inside the wound of bite. So booster doses, class 1 nil, class 2 1 booster dose of same quantity of vaccine should be given 3 weeks later or after 10th injection. The 10th injections which are mentioned here, they were previous neurological vaccines. Now the new schedules we are going to learn in few slides. Advice to the patients: abstain from alcohol, undue physical and mental strain, and late nights should be avoided. Corticosteroids and immunosuppressive agents should not be used, which will hamper the vaccine antibody production. Anti-rabies serum, anaphylaxis reactions and serum sickness can be avoided by large dose of antihistaminic drugs simultaneously. We cannot avoid giving anti-rabies serum. Even if there is an anaphylactic reactions to the anti-rabies serum, we have to give the antihistaminic. We have to control the anaphylaxis and completely give the anti-rabies serum. Okay. Yes. So intramuscular schedules for cell culture vaccines is 0, 3, 7, 14, and 28 days. Okay. So 0.5 ml of the vaccine should be given in either of the deltoid, 0.5 ml at 0. 0 means as soon as the patient comes to our OPD. Okay. So the bite can be yesterday, bite can be a week before, bite can be a month before. Whenever patient comes to the OPD, comes to the doctor with a history of rabies, with a history of dog bite or cat bite or wild animal bite, we should immediately start the anti-rabies vaccination prophylaxis. Okay, and the day the first vaccine is given is considered as day 0. The second vaccine will be given at third day. Third will be given at 7th, that is 1 week after the first dose. Then next will be at 14 and the last will be at 28 days. The intradermal schedule, two intradermal injections of 0.5 ml each over the skin of deltoid on days 0, 3, 7 and 28. Okay. So remember the difference between intramuscular and intradermal schedule is day 14. Okay. So the day 14 vaccine 0.5 ml intramuscular is given in intramuscular schedule while it is not there in intradermal schedule. Intradermal we have 0, 3, 7, 28. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, the people who have a risk of repeated exposures. Vaccine given is cell culture vaccine, 1 ml intramuscular or 0.1 ml intradermal on days 0, 7, 28. 3 doses. If titers are less than 0.5 international units per ml, booster dose of 1 ml intramuscular or 0.1 ml intradermal should be given. Further booster injections at intervals of 2 years at risk should be given. Post-exposure treatment of persons who have been vaccinated previously. If the patient antibody state is unknown, then 1 ml intramuscular doses of human diploid cell vaccine are recommended on days 0, 3, 7. If the titer is known to have more than 0.5 international units per ml, if the bite is not severe, only 2 doses are required on days 0 and 3. Okay. Yes, that's it regarding the rabies. Remember that whenever there is a patient with hydrophobia comes to a doctor's clinic, comes to the emergency department, always suspect rabies. And whenever there is a history of dog bite or cat bite or any wild animal bite, then we should suspect rabies and we should treat it as rabies. Okay. Any exposure. So, suppose a dog bites a cow and a family of 5 people, they have consumed the milk from that cow. Okay. So even if we don't know the status of that dog, even if the cow has been bitten 1 week back or long back, uh, the advice to be given to that family of 5 people is to get vaccinated for anti-rabies serum. Okay. Even if there is 1 in a million chance of contracting rabies by any way, we should advise the people to get vaccinated because we don't have any other option than vaccine. And remember, for vaccines, intramuscular schedule is 0, 3, 7, 14, 28, and intradermal schedule is 0, 3, 7, 20. Okay. So, and remember the class of the bites and the treatment which are advised for them. Okay. Yes. So that's it regarding the rabies.